God, Mark's always hungry. Hey guys, this is Jody with the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast. And tonight we're gonna do something kind of special on this recording. I of course I watch everything on whiskey too. So I've seen the Bourbon Junkies do this. I've seen Man Shit do this. The what's it called? The Mash Drum do this, and then a couple other people have done it as well. Where they take a blind test and they either get the most expensive, the least expensive, whatever. But we're going to spice it up a little bit. So tonight I am going to do this, but every week one of my guests is going to do this, and they're going to take 5 different drinks. They're going to put it on. I don't know if they have a flight or not. But they're going to put it on a flight. Ooh. And then they're going to have. I had it prior to the show. Had the boy come down here and he shuffled them all up and everything. Made sure that I don't know what's in each one. I don't know if you can see it, but there's tape on the bottom. Tape corresponds with the number, which those guys have as the key to it. And I wrote all the numbers in pencil, so I couldn't see through the bottom of it because, as you guys know, I have a light that shines right on me, so we can have perfect view of me. So anyhow, guys, I want to ask what everybody's drinking, and then while we're doing that, I'll start. This is where I'm going to start at. This is where I'm going to end at, and then at some point, I will put them in ranking order of what I thought was the best of these. And by the way, it's Maker's Mark, and this is the SC4 PR5 Larceny Barrel Proof, which is hot. Hopefully, we can pick that one out. Our trusty Blanton's single barrel, Eagle Rare, and then one of the local Tennessee ones that I adore, which is Leaper's Fork, Bottle and Bond. All right. So anyway, guys, while you guys are doing that, I'll try on the first one. All right.
Well, gentlemen, let's start this off right. Gentlemen, be good to yourself. Ladies as well.
Chris, sort of a show rule. Yeah, when he says that everyone drinks, it's kind of like a
so shout out to the missus. She brought home 2 family-sized bottles of Bullet, and I'm going to be doing a bottle kill on the Old Forester Statement.
Hey.
So that is what's going down tonight.
By the way, I have a bottle of Redemption store pick that you wanted. It should be coming your way. So
okay,
just want to let you know.
Very nice.
So I wanted to do a shout out to the Godfather for sending me a little olive oil today. But in honor of that, I'm not cracking that just quite yet because I've got a bottle kill to do my regular old Eagle Rare. So we're drinking that tonight. Delicious stuff. Always love me the Eagle Rare, man.
My pleasure, Reb.
Hey, Chuck, is that from the same store that
Yes.
you sent me? So it probably is a little bit sweeter as well.
Yes, it's the same one.
Okay, it's fantastic, but it's a little bit sweeter, and it's one of those, Billy, you call it slap yourself in the face type of bottles.
Mm-hmm.
I opened it up and I was just gonna have out of the neck, and I was down to like this much in one setting, and I was like, "What the hell, Jody? You're a dumbass." And it's not like I can pick that up everywhere.
Do we need to qualify that? I mean, does the amount of whiskey you drink qualify or disqualify you from being a dumbass? Is that how this works?
I mean, we haven't really instituted any rules, but typically we look at it as Jody has the final word on everything, and we kind of vote on things, but you know, it's kind of.
Well, I think one of the qualifiers is if you're on this show, you're probably a dumbass.
That's probably the right way of putting it.
I've known Jody for several years, and I've known Jody online for several years, and we don't agree on much of anything. But I think he's a great guy, so that either makes me a narcissist or a good judge character, one or the
other. Wow, there's such a thin line between.
Well spoken there. It's gonna keep him confused the rest of the night.
So I don't know if there's any order, but I am happy to be here. I'm drinking, I don't know if you can see that. It's Texas Milam and Green, straight bourbon whiskey. This is actually the first batch of their own juice that they distilled. The owner and distiller are friends of mine. So I got a bottle before it even got released. And so I'm kind of milking it a little bit. Very cool. But everything else before had been sourced. And their secret is blending. Their distiller is also like a huge blender. She came from the blending world, and so she's big into blending. And so I've been thankful to partake in some of that.
Nice.
I'm trying to figure this out over here. So far I've got it. I think I got it figured out.
Look at him. Well, I am also drinking. I'll jump in. Drinking Eagle Rare tonight. Also at the behest of our Godfather, Chuck. Thank you. You're amazing. This is the Eagle Rare. I saw the sticker here. Single Barrel Select from the Elkton Warehouse, which I'm guessing is a localish liquor store to you.
Yes, it is.
Really good stuff. If you guys know Eagle Rare at all, good strong hit on the front of like cherry, like very strong cherry and orange peel, mellows nicely into the spices and that sort of that slow mellow finish to it. Yeah, it's just a treat to drink. Thank you so much for this. It's great.
I don't know what that
My
one
pleasure.
is. Gotta think.
Guess I'll go now. Thanks to my boy Alan and the Wine Chambers, Tynemouth.
There you go.
He got me and Evan Williams a bottle and bond. The first bottle and bond Evan Williams I've had. I am a fan of Evan Williams Standard, and I've tried a single barrel. And I've literally just cracked it tonight. I've had 2 sips out of it so far. Very happy with it. I'm getting some fruit, and some oak and some caramel and some sugary kind of vibe, but I haven't had enough of it to do a full kind of rundown yet. So I shall keep you apprised. But thanks,
Very
guys.
nice, Mal. Yeah,
Good pick, man.
always keep one of those at the house because it's $17 and it's really good. It's really
not
good.
very often. It's not very
Yeah.
often we see it over here. So
It
Wish
is
they
the
made
best
cologne.
not kept secret in bourbon whiskey by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I wish they made cologne out of this. This is a really hard test when it's 5 of things I love. I'm like, I like that. I know what that is. And then I'm like, but am I sure? Sure. I like this one too. But I like all of them. So it makes it challenging.
Hey, Jody, we both been cops. If they made cologne out of whiskey, our job would be a whole lot harder.
This is true. All right. So this has got to be the lowest proof of all of them. So this one is not.
You know what that is, right?
What's that?
So, well, you know what that is if it's the lowest proof.
It has to be Blanton's if it's the lowest proof. Either Blanton's or no, lowest proof would be Eagle Rare. This is so tough. It's not hot. That's the reason why I say that.
All right, so I'll jump in while Jody's still testing. Dave, will you finish? I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
All right, so
Yeah.
I am preparing.
Oh gosh.
This is good.
7. So I'm going Lux tonight. Round 1.
Old Israel.
7.
Very nice.
Sure. Yes.
Round 2. Load up pack 6.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for the pack 7, right?
Yes. In
I've
about
seen one come up on the
16 hours.
on the secondary. So, but
Mark, you'll be seeing one of those soon.
Yes.
oh, really?
Oh.
Nice.
Hercules.
That is a Hercules moment.
Also, I
Listen.
got word that CYPB is dropping.
Yes, I have
And
heard
that
that
is why
too.
Chuck is
Because
called-
of you.
The Godfather.
That and foolproof.
Well,
I will
if I
drink
find any more foolproofs, no, you want 12. So if I find 12, then I'll send that to the Godfather. I have yet to come across any of those recently, other than in the secondary. But if I see the the CYs or the or another foolproof is my favorite. So if I find my favorite Weller product, but if I find the
I want one.
if I find more than one, I will see if I can pick up 6 or 7, and I'll make sure everybody gets one. It's for either one of them. I'll just take my credit card. We'll be good, and then I'll explain later to the wife. It is what it is. Move on.
Listen, that is what you call a flex when the Godfather tells you
It's on its way.
he's telling you
I'm gonna send you a bottle you can't refuse.
go sit on your porch until I tell you to come back in the house.
All right, I think this one. I feel like I know this one. I feel comfortable with this selection.
I'll go next. Tonight, I'm
Baker.
doing a bottle kill of Baker's 7
Nice.
Jim Beam product. It's pretty sweet on the nose. Nice brown sugar, caramel. Got a little bit of that Beam peanutty note to it. It's not quite what you would call it's hot. It's at 120, or I'm sorry, it's 107. And Booker's is around the 125 point, I believe. Many of those are. And this is basically a Booker's Light. And let's go for a taste. Definitely peanutty right off the bat. It's basically being pretty good, little hot, spicy. Coats the palate really well. Has a medium finish. But overall, pretty good for the price range. And then after that, I'm going to dig into the Maker's Mark FAE 01 again.
Very nice. Very nice. Jody, how you doing over there?
Well, I think I picked out 2 of them. I think I feel pretty comfortable. I'm having a hard time with this one. I think it's this one.
Is that 5 and 2 you're looking at?
No, I don't know the numbers. I mean, on here, on the flight, it would be 4 and 1 because I've moved them around. I've tried to match them up with the bottles. So I feel pretty comfortable.
Because we got the answer key. Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out where.
And it's interesting too, because you're comparing 2 Buffalo Trace mash bills there together too, between the Eagle Rare and the Blantons. So
yes, that's true.
And Jody, I don't know if you could or if you want to. I don't know if you should get a little bit of water in between to clean your palate.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
And to keep you from falling out of the chair later.
Yeah.
I'm not even in a chair.
You don't stop. We're gonna.
I'm standing at my bar.
We're gonna slip you some Slaughterhouse in there later, and you won't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, I will. That shit tastes like. That is.
Have you added any water to them?
I have not. Okay. I'm trying to have them straight the whole
Mhm.
time and just see if I can pick them out. It took to the second round for me to pick the heat out of this one, which is, I believe it's Larceny. Excuse me, which I believe is Larceny. I don't know the number on the bottom. When I get to the bottom, I'll let you know. And I'll flip it.
What's the ABV on that Maker's Mark? I haven't had that one.
Like 115, I think, right?
Oh, you're talking about
Yeah,
the it's
proof.
it's the proof is 110.8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, thought you said something else, and I was like, dude, I ain't got my glasses on. There's no way I can read that.
It's the PhD.
He's done all the reading he's going to do in his laugh.
Well, I mean, I've been reading all day. I was in class all day. So,
Oh man.
class or meetings, academic business meetings, or class. But it was fun today, and it was a fun class today. However, as you guys seen in the picture I sent you, I had to have an early round of GT Good Times Cherry, which I love, and I wish I could get a bottle of that. He brought me 2 more samples of that as well. Corey did. It's fantastic. So back to this. So one, I'll tell you what I'm tasting on one. You guys know what's here, and you try to tell me what it is. See, I don't know if it's just they all, of course, going to have oak, so you're going to have that. Honestly, don't know. I don't know if I've burned out my palate with this right here, because I feel 100% sure this right here is Larceny.
Larceny, that'll be the easy one.
What's the proof on the Larceny on that barrel?
120, I think.
Yeah, that's barrel proof, so it should be high.
No, 122.4.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is either Blanton's or Eagle Rare, because these 2 are the lightest 2.
What is the mash bill on the Tennessee? Because 3 of those are weeded. One of them is a higher rye. And then what is that one?
All right, this actually has the mash bill on it, so I will tell you it's 70, 16, 15. I'm sorry, 70, 15, 15. And that's corn, rye, barley.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And
nice with the
It's
it's,
barley.
100,
really
it's
out of-
110 proof too.
Yeah.
That's the one I was telling you about.
Yeah, that's interesting. I need to get a sample of that.
Right, I'm gonna go ahead and rank them and tell you what, and then we'll see what they are. Okay.
Okay. Quick question for the group.
Yes, sir.
when you guys are drinking, like Jody's doing his tastings and he has everything in a different cup. A couple of us are doing bottle kill. Do you use the same glass when you're having that second drink? Anybody do that?
I do, but it depends on if I'm collecting the same
Yeah.
type of mash bill. If not, or something similar. If not, I will, and you guys have seen me do that. I push the camera off and I go and rinse the glass out, come back, or I pull out another glass.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
change
usually,
glasses.
Yeah.
I usually
Yeah,
tip some water in the glass to run it around and then drink the water. And
I've done
Yeah,
that on the
Hey.
show.
Yeah. Normally I will
Waste
switch
nothing.
glasses, but I didn't want to get up and I'm actually feeling quite nice. So I
There you
actually
go.
just poured my second one into the same glass. So I'm gonna see how it tastes. So we'll see. But Mel, a question for you. When you're using your vape and you're having a drink, does it impart a flavor
Number one was.
that's different from what it normally tastes like if you're not having your vape?
It depends. I would say it depends on the juice that I'm vaping.
Yes, I'll be right
I usually stick with the same one, but I always have a menthol. So whether it's a menthol juice or whether it's a normal juice with a menthol nicotine shot in it or anything like that, there's always that menthol back note. So I'm going to say, yeah, it probably does. It probably opens up a little more because of the menthol sort of makes my tongue more susceptible to certain things. So it probably does.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. Somebody bring out the list that you have, and I'm going to tell you what I have here. And then I'm
Okay,
gonna
I
match
have
up
the list. I have it right here. in
I'm
front of me.
looking at it too.
All right. So I think over here on my left, I guess might be the viewer's left, might be their right. Who knows? As long as it's not upside down. This was what I picked as number one, and this was number 5 on the list. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna put
Picked
it
as your number one. Huh.
All right, so number 5 is Leaper's Fork.
All right. Now I do want to say that all of these are fantastic. All right. Number 2, or I'm sorry, the second one over here. I don't think that's number 2. I'll go with this one. Yeah, number 3 is number 2.
That's Blanton single barrel.
All right.
So number 2 is actually Larceny.
No, number 3. Number 3.
He said number.
Oh, okay.
And my
He's
number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2 in the rankings is number 3 in the list.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with number 1 as number 3 over here.
That's the maker's mark.
Okay, so actually they're in order so far. I feel like I'm pretty certain with this one right here that this is Eagle Rare.
So it's going
That's
to be
number 4.
Is Eagle Rare.
Mhm.
Okay, and then
And then
this one right here
Larceny.
is Larceny was the out of this 5. All matter of fact, all these are great ones,
Yeah, it's not
That's-
to say any of them are bad because of that.
but
By any
I do find it
stretch.
interesting that Leaper's Fork and Blanton's were number 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And you have an eclectic palate because it's not like you pick the sweetest sweets higher up than the spicy. I mean, it's kind of a good mix there.
Yeah, I mean, this is 110, 100. I'm sorry, is that right? No, 100 proof. It's ball and bond.
Yeah, it's-
Sorry.
And it's
yeah.
70% corn, right? You said
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
corn, rye, and barley. So yeah, it's going to be on. I feel like it would be on the sweeter side.
It is. You can actually
Mhm.
taste a lot of like some of those
It
traditional
is a sweet bourbon.
fruits you would get out of like a higher corn. You can taste those, but because it's aged over 4 years, they kind of take a back seat after as soon as they go past through the frontal part of your mouth. As soon as they get back there, they take a back seat. Whereas if you brought out a younger whiskey, like Mark had gotten me this, which is Lost Republic. I'll be honest with you. I've said this numerous times. I got this because of the bottle. I think it's a freaking kick-ass bottle. It's kind of like the Lusty Claw. That is an awesome bottle.
Mhm.
But I have never had Lusty Claw. I've had this. This isn't bad for a young bourbon. I think we looked it up. I do not have my glasses on, but I think it's only like 1.5 or 2 years in the barrel. It's not bad. It's not bad for a pinch, and it's also not bad for perspective of having something unique to talk about and to drink around your house.
Mhm.
It's kind of like Daddy Rack. Daddy Rack is I think what, a 3-year, if that. And
Yeah, I think it's only 3.
yeah, and it's made here in Columbia, Tennessee, and it has a lot of the traditional Tennessee taste, but much younger taste, and it's a much thinner taste to it. Like it almost tastes.
The flavor profile, like you don't
Yeah,
get anything strong out of it one way
Yeah,
or
you
another.
don't get a
but
whole
there's
lot of bite.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing offensive about it either.
Right.
So.
Well, you know, it's interesting too, because most Texas whiskeys are young. I mean,
Yep.
it's first of all, it's hot. So like the oldest Texas whiskey right now is only, I think Garrison Brothers has some stuff that's sitting in a barrel for about 10 years, and so does Balcones. But really, 7 years is considered an old Texas whiskey, whereas that's considered a normal bourbon everywhere else. You know, we drink stuff that's 1 to 2 years old here. And that's one reason a lot of people poo-poo on Texas whiskey. And to be honest with you, some of it is poo-pooable, but it's getting better. But it's always young. So,
yeah.
I really like that. I shared that Lone Elm that you sent me a while back, that the weeded whiskey.
yeah, that stuff is less, all of that stuff. I have one of the oldest bottles in existence, and it's from 2013. Most of their stuff is 2 to 3 years old.
I will tell you, I'm actually very shocked where Eagle Rare fell. I mean, don't get me wrong. These are all great whiskeys, but I'm shocked that it fell 4th in this blind tasting.
Well, I mean, not for nothing though. That's some stiff competition for it to be up against.
Oh yeah, I mean, this
You
right here
would
is by
never-
far the best Maker's Mark that's ever been made,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
And listen, like we were saying before the show, that lineup that you have right there, even here in Miami, because people are so programmed to certain things, that is a hell of a lineup that a lot of bars and restaurants here in Miami. I can tell you, Leafer's Fork, I don't think it's anywhere here in Miami. If I saw it somewhere, I would freak out.
It'd probably be a freaking real pretty dollar.
Yeah, absolutely. It would.
You better be calling me, and I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, I would absolutely imagine if somebody had it here, it would probably be somewhere to $30, $35, if not more pour. Blanton's, I see Blanton's on the shelf for like $200 here. So if somebody has it in their bar, I'm sure they're charging $60, $70 a pour. I've never seen Eagle Rare in a bar here in Miami.
No, I see it pretty regularly.
I saw it in a bar in where I was in Tiffin, when I was in Ohio, in Tiffin.
Yeah. What were they charging for? Any idea?
Like $8.
Oh.
I'll tell you, I seen today.
That's fair for a pour.
I seen Eagle Rare 17 for $1,700. I'm sorry, Eagle Rare 17 2020 for $1,700. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I came close to pulling the trigger on it. Because I want it bad. I've had it. It is life-changing. It is the best bourbon I've ever had in my life. But man, I just don't know if I can pull a trigger on it. If it was at 14, if it was at 14, I know it's only $300, but if it was 14, I'd been like, yeah, I'm paying for shipping, whatever you got. You know, it's en route. But 17, I just couldn't talk. It was 17.43, and somebody was actually posting it, making fun of the prices, and I was like, I mean, I agree with you. It was a ridiculous pricing, but I would pay that right now.
Did anybody see the one post where it's 2 guys standing, and I guess it was for the Derby?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
$250, and they were like sold, and I was like,
I saw that. Yeah.
And
I know you don't get it up there. Have y'all all had Blanton straight from the barrel?
Yeah, I've got some. I got 2 bottles.
Oh my God! Now I'm not a Blanton's fan at all. I think it's overhyped. But the straight from the barrel, I guess secondary market down here, it's $200.
There you go, Mo.
It's about the same here.
And
it's about $200, $225. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I think it's
I'm
worth
not,
it.
Like I said, not a Blanton's guy, but man, that stuff is. The gold is good too, but the straight from the barrel is killer.
The gold is good, but here in the second, well, first of all, it's hard to find retail anywhere close here, and it's actually hard to find in Tennessee retail anything of Blanton's. But if I will not pay $200 for the gold, and now if I had to rank them in what I've had, I know there's a platinum. I've never had that. I've never had the Japanese version either, which is only 80 proof. But I own the gold, the standard, and the straight from the barrel, and I've had the special reserve that they have. And the special reserve is the lowest of the group, in my opinion. It's like special reserve Weller. And and I would put it on the same level, same playing field with them. I don't want it. If you have it, don't send it to me. I don't want it. That's how I feel with Special Reserve Weller. And it's nothing to knock it because there's a lot of people love it. I just don't.
Well, all I can say is this, I have a very, very good grandfather, and I have an even better godfather. All I can say is I got my hands on a bottle of Blanton's Gold. It's just one of those things that I was made an offer that I could not refuse.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I have a bottle of Blanton's Gold and I love it. And I would rank them as in this order of what I have. It would go straight from the barrel, gold, standard, and then reserve. Of the ones I've had, I've never had platinum and I've never had the Japanese version.
There's 2 Japanese versions. Then there's another that's in a box, like a wooden box.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There's
several actually.
Green.
Yeah, there's a but like one of the guys that's big and one of our big whiskey clubs guy. He got this is a crazy story about Blanton. He's got just about every bottle of Blanton's ever made. I'm not even kidding. His collection ends up as like thumbnail pictures and stuff. But he got this bottle of Blanton's that's in this crystal and gold domed container, and it was only in Japan. And in order to get this bottle, he went and actually got like a PO box in Japan so he could get the bottle, he could buy it. And then it took him like 9 months to get it shipped to the US. I have no idea what it's worth. I'm
still waiting. I can tell you that I'm already waiting on something from Japan that I've been waiting on for over 2 years now at this point.
Yeah, it is crazy.
That bottle goes for around 15,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got one of them.
I don't think the immigration and customs are going to allow that bottle to come through.
Now, let me ask you, here's a question. I mean, and my knowledge is not as wealthy as a lot of people in here, but let's say, Blanton's and, the whole Buffalo Chase distillery. These distilleries are all family owned, correct? Or is
Buffalo Trace?
They're all conglomerate.
Sazerac, right?
Yeah, Blanton's and Eagle Rare, Buffalo Trace, Larceny is Heaven Hill.
They're all publicly traded, so it's no longer family owned.
Okay, so they're publicly traded. Okay,
right. So Sazerac is the big one that the Blantons, Buffalo Trace, Weller, Sazerac Rye, all falls under that big thing. I forget who Brown Foreman. There's a bunch under Brown Foreman.
Old Forester.
Right.
Woodford. Jack Daniels.
Right. And so my reasoning for asking this is because if I'm an insider, what's stopping me from walking down to the production line and picking up a bottle of this and just putting it for my grandkids somewhere to have years down the line? Does somebody have that power to walk down and get
you honestly think Freddie Johnson doesn't have bottles just sitting around his house of stuff that's super rare?
Uncle Freddie.
Sure, Freddie, but I don't know. I know lots of people have been to Buffalo Trace and have talked to people at Buffalo Trace, and they lock that Blanton's down. So I'm sure some people within Buffalo Trace can get bottles of whatever they want, going down to the, the lowest employee or whatever. But I don't know that anyone that works there can walk in and get anything they want.
That's probably true.
And I'm sure if they can, that
they ain't telling nobody.
There's somebody on the inside watching.
Yeah.
Watching their every move to make sure that doesn't appear somewhere on a secondary, doesn't get traded somewhere or anything like that. As well.
Right, and
that's funny.
And the reason I asked is because I don't know if anybody saw this story where this woman, she's like an executive at Nike.
Yes.
And her son got like all the most exclusive shoes. And he did exactly that. He was taking these shoes and selling them for just ridiculous amounts of money. So he literally had the market in his pocket. He got shoes that wasn't even on the market yet. But of course, his mom would get it and whatever, give it to him, and it was an inside thing. But I was wondering
when that came out, she quit the next day.
She quit the next day, absolutely, because
gotta go.
you can only imagine the problems that caused. So I was just wondering if somebody had enough pull in one of these big distilleries where they had a case of Blood 07 sitting in their backyard, just doing whatever. you know? Or is there somebody sitting around with, 40 bottles of each blends that you can even possibly get your hands on? Or does the janitor have 2 bottles of, double Eagle Rare sitting in his home in the back of his closet, for when
I can tell you the double Eagle Rare that's MSRP at $1,999. If I had a chance to buy that tomorrow, I would, for $1,999.
Right, but I don't even.
That's going to be a
$20,000.
$20,000.
I would venture to say, with the exception of the top execs, people probably don't have the B tax and stuff laying around. I know from my experience in Texas, I've made relationships with almost all the owners and distillers in Texas because that's what I did during COVID. I was bored. Those are all craft distilleries, but some of them are big. And TX, for example, here in Fort Worth is owned by Pernod Ricard now, which is a huge global conglomerate. Yes, those guys get anything they want whenever they want. But the guy sweeping the floor isn't going to get the most limited edition stuff, but the distiller, who's a good friend of mine, can have anything he wants. So I think it kind of depends on where you are in the company and so forth.
Right.
I mean, that would be true
I'm
with
just
any
saying,
place.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's just saying, if somebody had the ability to have such power that, okay, this is not going to be for me, but I'm going to, do this for my grandkids, 15, 20 years down the road, when people are still stupid about this product, and now it's worth 90 grand and he can get it all day, So,
well, I think it happens? It probably does, but I can tell you this to kind of bring the parallel to us. You can ask some of the people that I've done business with when it comes to bottle trading. Our fans and stuff like that, Chuck knows this, John knew this, and so on and so on. If I if I trade you a bottle, or I find a bottle that's allocated or whatever, and I send it to you, it's not for secondary pricing. It's for you to consume. And unless you're transparent, like for example, Rob said he was at this place and he's like, "Hey, they got a whole case full of 1792 foolproof." I'm like, "Buy it. Here's my Venmo. I'll send it to you right now." And so I did. And I sent him and I said, "I'm using this for Christmas gifts." And that's what I did. Christmas gifts. And my advisor and reader for my dissertation, I sent them both a bottle, or I handed both of them a bottle. And that's what I use that for. But outside of that, I don't want, if you're going to do business with me ever, don't put my stuff on the secondary, because I like to drink my stuff and I want you to drink it as well.
Well, and I think too, you take somebody at Buffalo Trace with the Van Winkles coming out like they did against the secondary market. If someone at Buffalo Trace sold stuff on secondary, I'm sure they'd be fired in an instant.
Yeah.
Considering all of the secondary market is illegal to begin with, and I'm sure they would be fired in an instant.
I do not talk bad about the secondary market. I know a lot of people do, because the pricings are crazy and this, that, and whatever. I get it. And they are. And you can call people taters, this, that, and whatever. But I can tell you what, if there's certain bottles out there I want and I will pay for it, I'm going to pay for it. And if I have the means, and it is what it is. I know it's wrong, allegedly, but if someone else has what I want, it's only wrong because of the tax. Let's be fair about why it's wrong.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
It's only wrong because of the tax. And my argument is on it, definitely when it comes to trading, is that I've already paid the tax. So is that person. What does it matter if we're just trading? You see what I'm saying? Because I don't know how you're going to win that. First of all, why are you even going to bring that up and as a litigation aspect to where I'm going to go to court about it? That's ridiculous. Now, are there people out there that are that asinine that would do it? Of course. ATS probably watching us right now, and they're going, "Yeah, that one guy's really cute. His name's Jody, but the rest of them,
Is there another Jody on here?
Olive oil.
You know what the free market, you know what the secondary market is, and I'm going to say this and not attach any value statement to it whatsoever. The secondary whiskey market is a study in free market capitalism, is what it is, without any restraints. We joke about that all the time.
And I'm okay with that.
I'm not making any value assessments at all. But if people say, "Well, what would a free market look like?" I'm like, look at the whiskey secondary market. There's no controls, and it's not like some black markets where you have some mob family that's controlling prices. It's literally supply and demand. you know.
Right, and I understand that. I just think, it's not for me. I don't even care. I mean, if you want it and you have it, it's cool. But in another thing,
That's
the other
my
day,
theory. Exactly. If you got it, if you got the means for it and you want it, and you want to pay $1,200, $1,600, $2,500, whatever it is for it, and you have the means for it, knock yourself out.
Yep.
Because I can tell you what, I am absolutely going to be that next guy that failed on the bidding because I couldn't justify $1,700 or whatever.
and listen, there's certain advantages to working for certain companies. One of the guys who I'm in the Jeep group with, Jeep just came out with what they call a 392, which is the first V8 they put in the Jeep in I don't know how many years. A couple of decades.
1964.
There you go. So
This
I
thing
knew nothing about Jeeps, but I do.
at the dealership, this thing out the door is just over $92,000. And him and I was just talking. He's like, "Oh no, I got it at cost." So I just for shits and giggles said, "What's your cost?" And he's like, "Just know it's under 30." I was like, "Wow."
Mm.
And I was like, "Okay, that's the advantages to working for Jeep."
For
I
sure.
mean, it's like, okay, so listen, if you work there and you can get it, if you're gonna enjoy it, then hey, why not knock it?
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about it. It's when it comes to it, I think there's some outlandish stuff. Yes, like for example, I'm not ever going to pay over MSRP, and I'm not even sure I'm going to pay MSRP for Bell Mead honey, which is currently on the market secondary market over $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I don't
hysterically when Chuck put that in the VIP.
Yeah,
I did
last night.
too, but the thing is that it's true. I mean, it's just like they've also put out a vanilla that's I think it's approaching $750 a bottle. $850. Okay, so yeah, it's somewhere right around there. And don't get me wrong, Bell Mead puts out a fantastic product, all right, but I don't see the value in a flavored bourbon like I do an aged bourbon. But then we also get to that perspective. Like I've had Pappy Van Winkle. Now, granted, I've only had Pappy Van Winkle 10 year, and I wasn't really impressed with it. And it's kind of jaded me from like the 23 or what is the other one? 27, I think they may have been.
I've had the 23.
It's 23.
And a 15, a 23 and a 15, I think.
Okay. So
Yeah.
23, nothing special.
yeah, and I didn't find, I was like, wow, don't get me wrong. I think it's interesting. It does have some complexities to it, but it wasn't like the Stag. When I drink the Stag Senior, and I would probably even include Stag Junior in it, or Eagle Rare 17. When I had Eagle Rare 17, first off, I had nothing like that ever before in my life. But like I had owned several bottles of Stag Senior. I still own bottles of Stag Senior. And I think it's very, very good. I think it's very, very, very complex. Has some very interesting taste to it. I love the notes. And I would buy that 9 times out of 10, probably 12 times out of 10, every time over top of Pappy Van Winkle. I just wasn't a fan. Now, the Van Winkle Family Reserve Lot B, now I think that's 12 year.
The Family Reserve is a rye.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you what, and I'm allergic to rye.
Lot B is a 12 year.
Yeah, the Lot B is what I just said. And that Lot B is freaking fantastic. And I would probably pay more for that, but I wouldn't pay it. I still wouldn't go into astronomical numbers with that because of the rye feature on it. Like Handy. I was so glad that I tried that and was able to call my boy Shane and say, "Hey Shane, I'm a renege on that Handy. I mean, if I got to buy it, I will, but I don't like it." He's like, dude, I'm glad you tried it because it sucked, So, but it's very fruity tasting rye. That's what I think.
So let me do a rapid fire. So we all know, we're willing to pay a little bit more for a bourbon that we want or a particular pour.
Mm-hmm.
So away from bourbon, just kind of go around the horn. What's something that you're willing to pay a little extra for that you're into? Guns, Jody. All right.
I mean, when I used to have them before they had a unfortunate accident, boating accident. Yeah, mm-hmm. My entire safe.
Okay. All right. So we know that. Rob.
Ooh. Wow, that's you know, look, come back to me because I got to think about that for a minute.
He's thinking online panty auction.
Yeah. David.
Exactly.
Me, nothing. There's nothing that if I have to pay more than MSRP, I don't want it enough. That's
And the guns thing.
I'm willing to go look for things and know a guy that can get it or whatever. Like I'm willing to do all that stuff, but I'm
Okay,
not.
so what would
I'm not
that
gonna pay
thing be for you other than bourbon? Like
to go
what's
hunt?
something to go.
Shoot. Honestly, the only thing I can think of, and my nerd side coming out, I was joking around with Jay earlier. Probably like a video game system or something like that. There's certain ones that are hard to find, like PS5 right now. You basically, if
no, I know
you
that
guys
one.
play games
I
at
got
all,
kids.
like, you probably aren't going to find it like until next year.
Like 2 years from now, probably.
Unless you're lucky. They're actually looking at like retooling some of the hardware on it because some of the computer chips and stuff like that are so hard to make, and it's because of COVID, it's screwed up production, so it's really hard to find. And anytime, just like the secondary market with whiskey, like there's a huge secondary market for PlayStations where people are spending $800,000. I am never going to do that. Yes, I want a PlayStation 5. I am never going to do that. If I know somebody who's got a line on one and MSRP, or you can get on one of these lists before you can get, before they get bought up by like bots basically to resell online. Just like instead of people waiting in line to go buy them to resell them, you have bots that do all the online purchases and then they upcharge through some secondary retailer. And it's preposterous. Like I won't ever do that. I'm not going to play that game. But if I can get it MSRP, if I got to go somewhere to hunt for it, that's going to be it for me.
Okay, Chuck, what about you?
I'm in the same camp. I usually don't like to pay anything over MSRP or a little more. Say, for example, if we were talking about alcohol. But if there were something I was going to pay more for, it would be classic cars or classic car parts or parts for my truck.
Okay.
Hey, can I clarify my answer real quick?
Sure.
Right. So like I'm not like
thoughts about it.
Well, no, it's
not to interrupt you. That Maker's Mark bottle is like right in front of your face on the camera. It's like all we can see is that.
Does it look like I'm doing this?
It looks like you're mouthing it the whole time. You're like,
all right, so
like you're Canadian or something. I don't know.
In our Canadian viewership, which was already only one. So anyway, for me, it is
South Park reference.
Yeah. So I do love guns a lot, but it would have to be something I'm looking for that I can't find. It would be more pragmatic to say, would I overpay for ammunition? Under the current spectrum, absolutely. I don't have. It's funny. My kids make fun of me because there's several things in this house that you always find. There's plenty of gas in all the vehicles. Always going to happen. That's current, obviously. There's toilet paper. Matter of fact, they made fun of me this morning. My son we were driving to school. And he was like, "Dad, you got 3 closets full of toilet paper." I'm like, "See, that's where you're wrong. There's only 2 closets left now with toilet paper in it. Toilet paper towels, ammunition, number 3. And I have. Well, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't have any guns anymore because they're all gone. They got lost in an unfortunate boating accident, but I still have the ammunition. So if anybody's looking for any, I can sell it to you for secondary price. And then coffee. I don't want to start my day off wrong. So I have plenty of coffee. I have both my freezer outside also has wild meat in it too, because I like to keep it stocked with deer carcasses and turkey carcasses and whatever I can kill out in the yard. I put all that in the freezer and also coffee. So
well, I mean, I'm sure you can do that because you can throw your ammo pretty hard, I'm sure.
I mean, no, I've been using my bow.
You should be careful about how you phrase that about anything you can kill out. You got any neighbors in your freezer?
Yeah.
Oh my.
But listen, Chuck, you know that market is very competitive here up in West Palm
FA 305.
Yeah, right. Barrett Jackson is always having that auction up in West Palm Beach. And I've had the pleasure of going to it just to watch, of course. And when I tell you those guys are gunning for each other over when they see something that they want, I mean, listen, these guys are ready to go out into the back and fight over it. Like,
wow.
All right, whoever wins the fight gets the car. Yeah.
I want to show up for these because I'm down with fight.
Mel, what about you? Other than your elixir, what are you willing to pay a little over for?
Again, kind of the same school of thought as a couple of the guys that's, over RRP, as we call it, recommended retail price, MSRP, as you know it. If I had to kind of sideline anything, I would say gadgets, boy toys,
Boy toys. Are those like girl toys? I don't know. Can you elaborate and talk slowly?
No. Gadgets.
Gadgets.
I've got 3D printers and stuff like that, but other than that, it would be watches.
I used to have a watch fetish. I have quite a few watches, but I got over that when I turned 30.
All right,
And that was a long time ago.
It was a while ago. I'm 46. That was 16 years ago. Yeah.
So I hate paying more than retail for anything. Now I'll buy whatever the hell I want. But if I do spend something, it will probably be on travel.
I can see that. I can see that.
And but you do a lot of traveling too.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you like to travel even though you do a lot of traveling?
Yep.
Yeah, see, I was in the military. I kind of burned myself out on that. I'm like, now I'm more like a homebody. Don't get me wrong, I like to travel just as much as anybody else, but when I was on the road all the time, and then when I finally wasn't on the road anymore, I was like, this is awesome. So
Mark, do you ever feel that way? Or are you always like, if you stay anywhere for too long, you feel like you got to get up and move?
You know what? No, because I pretty much know someone in just about every major U.S. city and several outside of the U.S. So, yeah, matter of fact, in after show, before I go, I'll tell you guys about my Orlando trip.
Can you tell us about Atlanta? Are you back allowed in there?
This is Mark. I'm going to give you a one and only pass. You were less than 5 hours from my house, Negro.
We brought Negro into this. Can I say that? I didn't know if I could.
Hey, Billy,
we can't say
We've
that.
had this conversation way too many times.
No, I didn't say the other word. I said Negro.
I know.
Negro's perfectly legal.
That's good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Can I say it to an angry Negro? Can I say that?
Absolutely. Why not?
Billy's like, it's not my face.
Bring a handful of those bullets so you can throw at them.
Yeah. So what's up with talk to us, Mark?
No, you know the only thing that would keep me from driving down, and I'll leave it there.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let's circle back to Rob.
No, we gotta get to Chris real quick. Chris didn't go.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, sorry, I'm the new guy. It's okay. So no, I typically don't. Well, not typically. I almost never pay secondary. I typically will try to find something else. So I kind of got burned out on bourbon, and I've been on like an Irish whiskey rabbit hole because
I like that too.
I'll give you a prime example. I've got a bottle of Green Spot Bordeaux cask finish Irish
I'm looking
whiskey.
for Blue Spot. So if you come across it, send me a PM.
I only got mine. Sorry. But I can go to the store and buy this Green Spot Bordeaux cask finished all day, every day for about $80. It's, in my opinion, as good or better than anything I've ever drank. And I'm not out thousands of dollars for another bourbon. So that's kind of where I am on secondary stuff.
Okay, so if you have
hold on one second. So real quick. So do you have a spot on, no pun intended, on Blue Spot or Red Spot?
No, the Blue Spot I got lucky and got it Specs, which is y'all have Specs up there?
Yeah.
So Specs is one of the liquor stores here, and the Red Spot. I had a friend that pretty much gave up drinking and was selling off everything, and he sold me his Red Spot at retail. So I got super lucky.
Yeah, like liver failure or something. What was going on?
All right. So if you had to step away from the liquids, what's something that you would pay a little bit more for?
I don't know. David would probably laugh at this. I'm kind of a serial hobbyist. I moved from hobby to hobby to hobby. So like, I'll give you a prime example, like right now, today. So last night I took my first Brazilian jiu-jitsu class and I'm like in love with this shit. Right. So I'm like rolling around on the mat with sweaty men. It was pretty sweet. And it's expensive.
For a judgment-free zone. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's expensive as shit. Jody, I know you've done this shit, so don't even act like it. So it's, those hobbies are expensive. They're not like, there's no secondary thing there. I just bought a new four-wheel drive Toyota truck, so I'm putting shit on it. But again, there's no real secondary there. So it's not a matter of paying a little more for something. It's just a matter of spending a lot of money on a hobby.
Hobbies. Yeah. Sweaty men.
Sweaty men. Yep.
All right, Rob, let's circle back to you. And then I'll tell you what I pay a little bit more.
Well, I guess I'm going to say it's probably going to be
Invictus.
The Invicta watches. And I seriously hunt. You know, and I know people are gonna laugh, but I do there's that Shop HQ network, which is kind of like Invictus Home.
Best place to get them.
It's one of the best places to get them, and occasionally I'll look on Amazon, and you get some deals on some things on Amazon. But I mean, outside of that, there's not a whole lot that I'm not going.
How about the movement watches? Do you like them at all? Do you like the movement watches at all?
What do you mean the movement watches?
That's the name. That brand.
I think that's the name of them. Is MVMT.
MVMTs.
Yeah.
I have not looked at MVMTs yet.
I'm just saying their advertising makes you want to buy all of their watches and their girlfriends.
I'm curious why Invictus as opposed to like say Tag Heuer or or Rolex or something like that.
I love Tag. They're gorgeous watches, but I ain't dropping that kind of cash.
Yeah, I mean they're ridiculous. I mean, like I'd love to have a Breitling Aviator, but it's like 5,000 plus. So I mean,
and here's the interesting thing about watches: they're one of the few things that if you get into, depending on the watch, of course, they actually appreciate in value.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of people don't.
I've got a Breitling J class.
I do too. We both have a Breitling J class. I have one of those as well.
I've got a couple of Hublot as well.
And that is what you call a flex.
Yeah.
When I was into watches, mine was, what was it called? Movado. Is that what it's called? Movado and Bulova were the two watches I was really, really into.
I do have that.
And I had a large collection of them, plus the fossils. I collected a ton of fossils, man, just because I liked the coloring they came with. Yeah.
Fossils are like the Evan Williams of watches. They're
I got this Movado from traveling.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I got mine from when I was riding Harleys. Believe it or not, I was probably the only person that had a Movado on. But no, that was not her name. Her name was someone else.
It's Quinn.
No.
So for me,
we're not going there.
We're not having that conversation.
with my travels that I've done when I was younger as a chef, I made a habit out of collecting knives.
I was going to say, I bet you collect knives.
Yeah.
I was going to
I've
say
seen some of your posts with knives, man.
Those are just kind of your everyday. You can easily get.
So do you like what's it called? It starts with a W. The ones from Germany. I just bought a whole
Wusthof.
Wusthof. I love those. They're extremely sharp. I cut myself twice washing those things. And I'm even washing them upside down so I don't cut myself. And I'm like, come on, man, how do you clean these things? Like, if you can't, how do you clean them?
Well, first of all, if you're gonna clean a knife, you should use a paper towel, something disposable. You shouldn't use.
No, that's what I did.
Average run of the day sponge.
No, I use paper towel. I read the instructions. I read your pro tip.
There you go.
And when I say I collect knives, they are all like 1 of 10, or sometimes I've actually paid for like a one-off
custom made.
I got stuff that if I pulled out, most people would probably run. I've got scimitars and stuff like that.
Nice.
If I just swung it at you, it would still probably cut you.
So what's your favorite knife or your rarest knife? I'm curious. I like knives too. I don't have that.
You said scimitar. That's not a knife no more. We're talking swords.
Yeah.
Well, in Japan, so it's different. And it's a whole cultural thing.
This is a katana. We cut bread with it.
Well, for instance, it used to be kind of this old wives' tale that if a chef dropped this knife, he couldn't use it anymore.
I just dropped it. I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, well, listen, I'll pick my knife up, but I would never try to catch it because if it folds the wrong way, you're done. You're losing fingers. So I've had a couple of knives made for me that are just, when I tell you laser sharp, you just think about cutting with it and it cuts something. And I'm very particular. I will give you money. Hell, I might even let you drive my Jeep before I let you use my knives. And that is deadly serious. Wow. You can ask Rob. You pick up a chef's knife in the kitchen and he didn't give you the utmost permission to do it, that probably will be the last thing you do that day. If not, the rest of your life.
Hey, let's do this. real quick, I just want to say, I want
I've heard
to kind of
that too.
I've kind of piggyback off of that when it comes to antique type stuff or specific one-offs. Like I am really into like old cowboy type firearms, like the old lever action rifles, the
like a Sharps.
No, I like Henry. Henry is
Yeah,
my
Henry
favorite. Henry,
repeaters.
Henry and Marlin
Yeah.
are my two favorite. And then when it comes to rifles, and then Colt 45 long Colts.
Yeah.
And then I like the 1867s and stuff like that. But anyway, guys,
Yes.
let's end the recording and we can talk for a few minutes afterwards. I'm not going to do a Chuck. You hear me, Chuck? I'm not going to do
Oh, I hear you.
all night thing with you. But anyway, make sure I
Yeah,
get
just
really
blame
close to this
Chuck.
thing so you can hear me.
You blamed
But,
Chuck last week too,
Why? It was worth it. to
and the
blame
week
you.
before.
It's always your fault.
I know.
Have you ever heard Margaritaville? You're like that
Mhm.
blonde haired girl, but you're not a girl.
Last time I checked, yeah, you're right.
But if you were, it's okay. We're a judgment free zone. Anyway, guys, y'all have fun. Love everybody. And
What? What is your name? Tony.